guys, welcome to the discussion portion of the playthrough, where this time we're going into the ocean depths, and not talking about oceans yet, but maybe one day. But we're going to the bottom of the ocean and discovering the world of Reef. And this is a game which would you guys consider is an abstract game or closer to being more of an abstract game?
Absolutely. I think so. I mean,
I don't know the definition of an abstract game, but
it's abstract.
See to me, like, in my opinion, and kind of what I've seen is kind of a general consensus is like an abstract is a game that functions independent of its theme, and the theme doesn't necessarily come through in like the play of it, because this doesn't feel anything like you're building a coral reef. I don't think that's how any of this
it's just
this is
theme that's
yeah
put on top of the game.
yeah. And I think it looks really pretty, you know. I mean, it looks better than a lot of abstracts for sure.
And so this is one of the games that so we went you witnessed this one time when we went to Origins, and Zach witnessed it too this year when we went to Origins. Is Plan B. I swear these guys know how to get either the hotness in terms of games or the hype of games up, because the first day that opened, they literally were causing traffic jams around their booth because people were trying to get the new Century Spice game that just came out.
Right, the Eastern Wonders.
Yeah, the Eastern Wonders. And then this game was like the number 2 game that sold out, like on the first day of people trying to get it, was Reef. And I'm like, what is this game? I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't want to wait in an hour and a half line to figure that out.
Right.
So what are your guys' initial thoughts on this game?
I love it. I mean, the first time I played it, we had.
But there's like no dark. Well, wait, you're not Russ. There's no blood or death or anything.
I like everything, from cute little bunnies and cute little fish, right up to big gory demons and Cthulhu monsters. Now this was we were at a store, and I had my stepdaughter with me, and Russ had his kid, and we had just played Century Golem Edition, which they should really make the sequel version in the Golem art, because
you guys were having a Plan B night.
Yeah, it really was. And like we played that, and Russ was like, "Hey, I really want to try this Reef game. Let's check it out." And we played it, and it just immediately clicked for me. And I scored the highest score that I've seen on Reef that day. Like, I did awesome, and I just had a really good time. It's got kind of a weird, I'd almost call it like a stunted flow to it, where like Century, you can really set up, you can really build your engine, and you can like plan out for turns and turns ahead. With this, the way that you place your coral pieces first and then you score, you have to like almost be planning in reverse, because there's I couldn't tell you how many times that I look at a thing and I go, all right, perfect. So I've got a thing that'll score on greens, and a thing that'll give me greens, and a thing that'll score on yellows, and a thing that'll give me yellows. But for me to score on greens, I'm placing yellows on top of the greens, and I'm losing that green score. Like, it just has such a unique flow that Russ had a really hard time with it that first time we played.
It does feel, when you're playing it, like you spend the whole time in first or second gear. Like, a lot of these games, you know, you're like ramping up, and then as you have your engine going, you know, you really start to take off, and you feel like you can combo things really well, and you've got like a really good flow going. And this game has a mechanic in it, that whole you have to take the color and then you score, and you might be covering up your stuff where you're just like, ugh. Like, okay, I'm ready for a big. No,
yeah, no. I honestly, like, I mean, it's hard. It's borderline impossible to deny the engine building elements, but I don't feel like this is an engine builder. I would almost say it's closer related to just tile placement game. You know, you put the things down and you score for it. You put things down and you score for it.
Confuses me about this game is you really, really like this game, but when we did our review of Warsaw, you didn't like that game, and to me, they're very similar. To me, they're almost the same game. It's, you take the thing, you put it on your little grid here. I mean, the grid is a little bit different in Warsaw, and it doesn't go up, but it kind of does go up in that game. And then you score based on the colors. And to me, that's what these two games essentially are, is you place your tiles, or in this place, your plastic pieces strategically, and then you score based on the colors. and it's just who can kind of place them the best. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, that's fair. I guess that would be an example of that mechanic done right and that mechanic done wrong for me. You know, I mean, like I mean, like I said in the Warsaw review, playing with someone who was colorblind, I think really damaged my opinion of that game straight out of the gate. Whereas with this, even if you're colorblind, there's going to be the different shapes, and it's just big and clunky. It looks deceptively childlike for such a deep and really brain burny. Like this game can really, really stress you out for how relaxing it looks.
Yeah, so Ken, I gotta ask. So Jared and I, while we were setting up, we were having a discussion on those shaped pieces.
Yeah.
And he says these yellow ones look like gears. To me, they look like churros. I want to know what.
Well, one by itself is like a crappy gear, but a stack of them is obviously a churro.
all right, so
And then these guys, the red ones,
when you see this?
the red guys are definitely gears, unless you only have one. By like, if you put them next to each other, those are gears. But this is like the red cross,
see, and
or like an iron cross.
I see a freaking pound sign whenever I look at them.
Yeah, that's fair, too.
I see a pound sign. Like I always saw.
Well, I mean,
pound signs, and I'm like, what
it's
pound signs.
it's 2018 now, so what you're talking about is a hashtag. But yeah, like so.
Old phones.
So you,
Pound signs.
if you go this way, you got your hashtag, and then you turn it just a little bit, and you've got a nice iron cross. Like, yeah, and then obviously like hurricane symbol.
I see saw blade when I look
Yeah,
at
I was
that.
like, that's a ninja star. You know, you throw.
No, it's the hurricane symbol on a map. You guys are crazy. That's a green lump.
Green lump.
Like that's nondescript green lump. Booger maybe? I don't know.
It's really bad when I look at those.
Yeah.
I think that was the best way for me. I'm like, that's just green.
That's the green one. That's green. Yellow gear, red hashtag, purple hurricane, green.
Yeah. but to, you know, to bring it back, like these pieces, when I first saw them, like, is this like a, you know, is this like a really, you know, heavier game, or is it kind of just more of a kid?
Yeah, well, like I mean,
Because they're deceiving.
when Russ busted it out, I was like, cool. At least it's not a choking hazard, I guess. Like, whatever, man.
When I see this game, I kind of look at it and like I would really feel bad for a colorblind person playing this game because it's so bright and vivid and it looks so colorful, and you kind of missing out on that. But I love the pieces. It's a very bright game. It's very, it pops up. It pops a lot. Even when it's sitting here on the table, I'm like, oh man, like just looking at it, I'm like, I kind of want to play this game.
Yeah,
I didn't super enjoy it the last time I played it. Like the colors make me want to play the game.
Yeah, I really like it. I feel like it gives you that, or it gives me that perfect like stress, I guess, where it's like, okay, I have to, if I want to score maximum points, I need to play this card and try not to mess up the way that I'm scoring points on it by placing my two corals. And then I need my next card to try and feed off of that. And it can be so hard to hit those combos.
Especially when you're like, I hope no one takes that. I hope no one.
Oh, yeah.
Like, stupid
there's
Kevin,
so
why did you
much
take
of
that? Right?
Yeah, and having that 4-card hand limit, that is totally like you can go, okay, I like that. I'm going to pick that up. Okay, cool. And then your next turn, you can only do one thing on your turn. So it's like, all right, you're picking up cards, and then you hit your 4-hand limit, and immediately you get the thing that goes great with the other 3. It comes out, and you go, I'm never going to get that. Like it's not only does it have to go.
I can't get that.
Not only does it have to go around the table at least once to get back to me, but I have a handful of 4 cards now, so it's got to go around the table twice before I can even possibly think of taking that, and it would be so good and I could score all the points. But yeah, I really like the type of stress because so I've played a couple of times now, and the first time it just was awesome. It totally clicked with me. Other times I've been like, the little bit of randomness to it with the market, and then not knowing what anyone else is going to get. So you're kind of, I felt like I was going, this isn't what I wanted. Like the first time that I played, I felt like everything that I wanted and everything that was available to me was exactly perfect. And the other times that I've played, it's a little more stunted, and it's like, okay, cool. So it doesn't always just click, even if you do get the game, if you get the mechanics and stuff.
Yeah, I kind of like that because it kind of keeps up, just one player from kind of running away with it, because no matter what their plan is, it's probably going to get influenced by the other players as they move along the time.
There's that mechanic where you have the 4-card hand limit. It's a lot like Ethnos. I don't know if you've played Ethnos.
Yeah, I think I played Ethnos once.
In Ethnos, there's like a 10-card hand limit, and once you hit that limit, you have to use your next turn to play the cards out of your hand. Like, you don't have another option. And that's the same thing here. Like, you can be really hoping for that card that synergizes well with your other cards or with your plan, but if you hit 4 cards and you haven't found that card, like, you have to play the next turn, and it's just going to throw everything off.
Yeah.
You have to re-strategize and rethink, and I really like games that force you to do that.
Yeah, I like it because it tailors both to, like, all of us, we've played a lot of games, but it is also still inviting enough for new players who are like,
oh yeah, that's that's always kind of the downside of the big scary gory graphic, like especially when you get someone as talented as Russ like painting your miniatures so it looks really terrifying on the board. No matter how heavy or light the game is, that visually just looks intimidating, and it could be the lightest dice chucker in the world compared to this, which is a really thinky strategy, and this is going to look way more approachable to everyone.
Yeah,
and that's kind of cool. Then you can just abuse new people because they think it's going to be easy, and it's not, and you can just destroy them and win.
It is a lot like Splendor in that way, where you open it and it's got really easy rules, and you're like, okay, this is a great game to teach new people, and then you start getting into it, you beat them the first time really bad, and then they're like, oh, I'm seeing the strategy now, and then you want to keep coming back and playing it. I think it's a great gateway game.
Yeah, it's definitely a really good one that way.
Yeah, and this is, speaking of Russ, this is one of the few games that we can't go, your copy's going to look different because Russ painted this.
No, I mean he could, but I mean the difference.
Paint the fish different colors for the players.
I don't know. I kind of like them the way they are.
Yeah, the fish makes it different, but I also, when I ordered the fish, I ordered them from Russ and Zach as well, so like all three of us has them. I actually haven't played with the fish yet, so I don't know exactly what that experience is like. But I mean, the rules are pretty minimal, and I can imagine what it would add to it, and it would definitely add some more stress and some more points, which is kind of cool. But it just
could take away a lot of points.
Yeah, that too. It just looks like a really fun little, like the perfect little addition, because I don't see how you would expand on this in any other way. I mean, I guess you could add another color of coral and
replace the deck and give you other.
Yeah, maybe more. But I mean, that's. I feel like that's that.
You could add another color and then make them 5x5 or something like that. Make the boards 5x5, but
I feel like this hits the mark.
Yeah.
This hits the mark better than any other option I could think of.
I kind of like it because it's not too overcomplicated too. Because this is definitely on my list of kind of intro games to show different people.
Yeah, for sure. It doesn't add any like difficulty really. I mean, it doesn't add too much to it. Yeah. But it definitely amps up what is already there.
Yeah.
So. I think it's a perfect way to expand on it.
So Jared, before we go, how would you rate the rule book? Because
I would actually give the rule book probably like an A, like 4.5
I love how you're never consistent in your like ratings too.
I would definitely
one time you give a number, now you're doing letters.
I would definitely give it, like an H out of 7.
Like a 5 out of 7. Perfect score, 5 out of 7.
9 out of 10. It's a very good rule book. I mean, there's not a lot to the game. It's seriously if you can imagine this rule book here, that's just this big. You know?
That is the entire rule book for the fish expansion. And if I remember right, the back is just credits. Yep. So you got a thing where it changes the setup, how to play, and then just the changes to the actions that it adds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the base game rule
That's
book
it.
isn't really much more
Nah.
than that.
The base game rule book's like that, but it's like this big instead.
Yeah. So
we're not pulling out like your Gloomhaven one that's like a novel.
The Gloomhaven books, because if I remember right, there's a couple for Gloomhaven.
So my typical complaints about rule books are that like they need an index or something. Obviously, this doesn't because it's so short.
2 pages.
You can just look at it. But they do a really good job of bold typing the important rules.
Yeah.
It's really easy to find certain rules. They have a big chunk that's just an example of somebody's turn.
Yeah.
And
So it's good even if you like don't have a board game background. You're looking up pick up a game. This one would be
yeah,
kind of-
absolutely.
Yeah.
I would never waste my time watching a video on how this is played, except for hours. But
I just
honestly,
did one.
go to the rule book. It is
But
so
it-
easy to learn.
yeah,
The rule book,
I mean,
which is rare nowadays.
Realistically, a lot of the time, the appeal of a video is, okay, I'm going to spend a half hour looking through this rule book and trying to put it together in my head, and maybe I need to pull out the pieces and walk through it. You could read the rule book and have the rules understood and be able to play this game in the same amount of time it would take you to watch the video that he recorded, because it is that simple. You know, it'd be a 5-minute video, a 5-minute read. It's pretty simple, and it's really, really approachable that way.
Yeah, but still watch our video.
Yeah, still watch it, definitely. Yeah.
So any last thoughts before we go?
So my personal opinion of this game is it's not my favorite game, but that's because this game to me is one of those puzzle games, you know, where it's all sort of a puzzle that you're trying to make the pieces fit in the right order at the right time. And to me, those games all kind of feel the same. Like, I don't see a lot of difference between this game and Warsaw and any other real like tile placement game like that, like Carcassonne or something. So for that reason, it's not a game that I'd jump at playing. I like games that have a deep theme, really immersive theme, and this obviously doesn't. I mean, it's kind of a pasted-on theme. You could do this with lots of other things. But
What if it was in space? Would that make you feel any better?
I mean, you could do that. These could be pieces of a space station
Oh yeah.
hooked
I mean,
together, and then you score based on how well they synergize. Or something.
They
Actually,
could-
that is a game. Among the Stars basically is. That. So,
yeah,
basically is
it
that
could
game.
be like a city building where it's like these are office and this is residential, and you're building high rises. I mean, you really could do just about
You can do
anything
just
with
about
this.
anything with this theme, and for that reason alone, it's not something that I jump at doing. I really like games with deeper themes, but as far as mechanically and if you like that type of game, I would highly recommend this game. If you're like me and you don't like that kind of type of game, I wouldn't recommend it. But it's a very solid game. Like I said, I love the colors. I love how much it pops, and it's very simple. It's a great gateway game.
Yeah, even if you don't love this type of game, it's not one that you would say to avoid either.
No, it's
like
not,
it's
we're not like
not-
it's one that it's like, hey, if you're not sure about them, definitely this is one to give it a try. You know, like
It's a good game. It is a good game.
Yeah.
It does what it's supposed to do very well.
yep.
It's just not my cup of tea.
Can anything else now?
Not really. I feel like I've covered it. I really,
Put blood on these coral tiles or anything?
I mean,
Wait, this is
Cut
There-
the fish in half, put some little
maybe get a slingshot because they're pretty substantial little things. You could do some damage, but
they sound like they were hurt. So we want to hear what you guys think of Reef, or if you have any questions about it, leave it in the comments below, or shoot us an email. That's the playthrough at ktdata.net or facebook.com/the playthrough. One thing I want to mention to all of you guys at home too, most Fridays, it's been a little off because of the holidays, but most Fridays we're streaming our game playthroughs at twitch.tv/ktdata around 6-7 p.m.-ish Mountain Time, where you can come hang out with us, talk about it, and who knows, you might get a preview on what the next week's episode is going to be.
And subscribe to our Facebook page because we'll be posting there when we're streaming.
Yep. So guys, thank you so much, Jared. Again, thank you so much for doing the rules segment. Guys, go watch the rules video just because. Just because.
we'll watch the rules segment, and then like if you don't have the game, that's it's a 5-minute, and you will know how to play. Like
Yeah.
it really, it's so short. I mean, if you own the game and you're wanting to learn, You can open the book and you'll know just as fast. But if you're not sure if you want to buy it, definitely check out the rules video. It's 5 minutes, and it's 5 minutes well spent.
Yeah, or pick it apart and find out where Jared said you put on.
Yeah, exactly. You can.
But guys, we will see you guys next time on the playthrough.